Lock it in with Cam Rogers. We're excited to have Pro Bowl defensive back Glover Quin back on the show. And Glover, you're feeling good right now, my friend. The Detroit Lions head to the NFC Championship for just the second time in franchise history. Just unpack that statement right there. The season that has been here for the Lions in 2023, 2024.
I mean, that's a mouthful. When you think about that and what you just said, the Detroit Lions are headed to the NFC Championship game. Um, it's just amazing the journey that this whole organization has been on for all these years, and for it to happen like this in this magnitude, for them to be able to get two playoff games at home. Um, it's just been incredible. And, we saw it towards the end of last year, how they ended the season going to Green Bay and beating a team that's been kind of the nemesis to, you know, those division titles. I remember in 2014, the last game of the season, we're playing a winner take all game against Green Bay, and we're in Lambeau Field and they beat us. You circle back to 2016, we're in the same exact situation, or 17, one of them. It's a winner take all game at the end of the season against Green Bay, and they beat us again. We could never get over the Aaron Rodgers hurdle. It's kind of like probably Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes at this moment, right?
He's that way, yeah.
Yeah, and so great teams, we just couldn't get over that hump, and so for those guys to be able to get over that hump, get to the NFC Championship game, bring that to the city that so deserves it. It's just incredible to see.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to zone in on these two playoff games in particular. The Lions moved the ball very well against the Rams as well as the Bucs. What did you see from this team that now puts them here in the title game in those two games in particular?
Well, I think we've seen what we've kind of saw all year. When you look at the season's going to have its ups and its downs at the end of the day. But when you look at this offense, they've been dynamic all year. And like I said, it goes back to last year. They were dynamic last year. And as I was stating prior to that, to go into Green Bay to end last season and get that win and take that momentum into the offseason. And in the offseason, to be able to draft the guys that they drafted. Jahmyr Gibbs has been incredible for this team. Brian Branch, Sam Laporta, Jack Kemp, all those guys have been very, 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 very good. Ben Johnson, very good offensive play caller. And so you take what they've done, they've added pieces at wide receiver. They have running backs. They signed David Montgomery. They have a tight end that can receive the ball. They have quarterback Jared Goff, who's been playing great. You look at the end of last season and starting to this season, went probably 15 games or so without a turnover. And then he went on a little stretch throughout the season where he had a 3 or 4 game turnover streak, right? And everybody's panicking. And I'm just being honest, I was one of the ones that was like, that's a part of it. Yeah, we don't need the turnovers. We don't like the turnovers. You want guys to play a great game every week, and we're analyzing and talking about things on a week-to-week basis. So it could seem like you're putting guys down or you're saying a lot of things because things are happening week after week for a 2 or 3 week span. But if you look over the course of a season, he's done a great job of taking care of the ball, making great throws, and that was just a little lull. And I kept saying, I'm glad that he's going through it right now so that you can come out of it on the other end and be playing at a high level for the playoffs. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's what he's doing. That's what they're doing. I don't think he's turned the ball over the entire playoffs. That's huge. Not giving the other team extra possessions, being able to march the ball down the field, make timely throws. And I think his experience, he's been to the Super Bowl. So I don't think any of these moments are too big for him. I don't think he's tried to do too much. We haven't really saw him force a lot of balls into windows that he don't need to do. I think he's taken what the defense has given him. They've ran the ball well. They've complemented it well with the play action game. And I think offensively, they're just executing right now at a high level. They're healthy. The O-line is healthy for the most part. And I think right now they're just operating on all cylinders.
The thing about the NFL, nothing is linear. I mean, the Chiefs had some lulls this season. The Ravens lost to Gardner Minshew and the Colts. The 49ers got blown out by the Ravens. It's just how it is. Nothing is perfect in this league. That is for sure. All right, let's talk about the defense here, Glover. You're a defensive guy. Let me throw some numbers at you because there are some potential signs of concern here. The Rams, they had 7.7 yards per play against the Lions. The Bucks, 6.8 yards per play. So, pretty good success there, good efficiency. Does that concern you at all?
It concerns you when you're losing, and it concerns you when you're
Right.
giving up a lot of points. I think in the playoffs, you're playing against the best team. So offensively they're gonna be able to move the ball. They're gonna have great playmakers. And it's all about, can you get timely defensive stops? Can you hold them in the red zone, the field goals? Can you get a turnover here or there? And you see with the Lions this past game, CJ Gardner-Johnson comes up with a big turnover at the beginning of the game to kind of set a tone defensively and make a play, create some momentum. And then Derrick Brooks with the big interception at the end of the game to close it off. And what happens in between, nobody really cares, right? The game is over with and you've moved on. You look at the same thing in the Rams. I don't think Stafford threw an interception. I don't know if there was a turnover that game, but they did a good enough job to make plays when they needed to make plays, get stops when they needed to get stops, and not let them get in the end zone, force field goals, and you give yourself a chance. And so, yeah, you don't want to see them giving up big plays. And I think outside of the Puka Nacua touchdown and the Atwell touchdown in the Rams game, I don't think they've given up really any huge plays that hurt them. I know Mike Evans had a big play right before the half, and they were able to get points off of that. But I think for the most part, when you're playing playoff football, you're going to have a couple of those, I think. So I think they've done a good enough job of holding teams down, forcing teams into third down situations, getting timely sacks, doing well enough against the run to give yourself a chance. I mean, you've won 2 games. You just got to complement your offense. And I think going on the road, the defense is going to really have to step up. And I think, for me, I'm just really watching to see what's going on with Deebo Samuel, because I really do feel like this 49er offense is completely different without him. We saw the 3 games that they lost during the season. He was not on the field, obviously. So Christian McCaffrey is a heck of a player. Brock Purdy is playing great. George Kittle. They still have a ton of weapons, and they still can get things done. Kyle Shanahan is a great coordinator, coach / coordinator, put it like that. You know, and so I think they are still a really talented group, but Deebo Samuel puts them in another level. And so I'll be interested to see how that plays out. But the defense is going to have to go on the road and really play a great football game. But that's what you always say, right? Offense wins games, defense wins championships.
That's right. And we have the NFC Championship in San Francisco, 49ers and Lions. Glover, here's the deal. The spread is 7. Vegas is saying that the 49ers are heavily favored in this matchup, as to be expected. But if the Lions were to pull off this upset, Glover, what needs to happen? Maybe like 3 things that need to happen.
Well, I say for one, you can't turn the ball over, right? So that'd be my biggest thing. You can't turn the ball over. For 2, you can't allow the moment to be too big, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are a team that, a lot of people say it's Detroit. They're not supposed to be here, right? Well, I feel differently. You don't fall to this location, right? You earned your way to be here. You're as good of a team as the other team on the other side. You've beat whoever they put in front of you to get here. So I don't think you can let the moment get too big and hurt yourself with penalties that mess up the game, meaning you can't give up pass interferences on 3rd and longs and give the 49ers first downs. You can't hurt yourself with pre-snap penalties, false starts, holdings, things like that. They got great edge rushers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't get yourself in those situations where you're behind the sticks and you're 3rd and longs and things like that. The crowd noise and that defense is going to be very tough for you. So you got to make sure you don't turn the ball over. Make sure that we handle the moment, and then as anything, you got to not give up big plays and you got to make big plays. So
No,
I'll be looking to see offensively, can we make some big plays? Can we get a shot? And we haven't seen it connected throughout the whole playoffs, but can we get a shot over the top to a Jameson Williams? Can we get a big play to an Amon-Ra St. Brown or a Reynolds or somebody? Can we get a big play? It's going to be very difficult to nickel and dime all the way down the field against a tough defense. You're going to have to go over the top, and that will loosen up some things underneath for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta. The run game is going to have to get going. We saw Jahmyr Gibbs break a big run this past week. Can we get that? So what kind of big plays can we generate offensively? And then defensively, can we keep the big plays off of us? Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle. We'll see what happened with Deebo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk. They got guys. Keep the big plays off of us and make them go the long, hard way, and you get big plays. So those are my three. No turnovers. That's the big one. We can't turn the ball over. Huge. You got to handle the situation, handle the noise, handle the environment, handle all those things. Don't beat yourself. And then who makes the most big plays and who gives up the most?
It's going to be exciting. Glover, I feel like I know what you're going to say here, but who wins the football game?
You know what? I don't want to say I'm just saying this because I'm being biased, but I really do feel like this is the Lions' time, and I think, you know, if Deebo doesn't play, I think it's a different game. If Deebo plays, I think it's a closer game. I think the 49ers defense is incredible. I think they're going to play really well. I think the Lions offense is incredible. This is what we want to see. We want to see a great offense going against a great defense. We want to see a great game. And when I say great game, I don't mean a 42-45 game. I don't mean a 7-3 game. I think America likes games that are in that 31-24, 31-28 type of range. It's enough offense that makes it exciting, and it's enough defense that it's like a good played football game. And I think both of the Lions games in the playoffs have been like that. The Rams game, I thought it was a lot of offense and some good defense, and it ended up with a defensive stop. And then the Bucs game, the same thing. Good offense, 31 points to 23 points, and you have a defensive play to end the game. So I'm going to keep it around those same things. No, I don't think they're going to be able to just run it up and down on the 49ers, but I still give the Lions a 24 points, and I'm going to give the 49ers 20, and I'm going to go 24-20 49ers. I mean, Lions.
Lions on to Vegas. All right, Glover, quickly the AFC side of things. I'm a Ravens fan. I am loving what I'm seeing from my guy, Lamar Jackson and company. Does Baltimore advance to the Super Bowl over the Chiefs?
You know what? I think Baltimore is playing, and they've been playing better than anybody for the last 5, 6, 7 weeks, you know, just going back towards the end of the season. They were on a tear. I mean, they ran through the Lions. They ran through the 49ers. Anybody that you put in front of them, they were really running through them, and it wasn't even close games. I think Lamar is playing at a very high level right now. He's obviously the MVP of this league. I think his maturity, his growth as a quarterback, as a leader, is being shown throughout their whole team. I think they have a phenomenal defense. Those linebackers they have, Roquan Smith and Patrick Quin, they're playing at a very, very, very high level. The safety, you know, Hamilton is playing great. Those guys, I mean, they're playing great, and I think they will win it. I think, you know, Patrick Mahomes is going to definitely put up a fight. You know, they have that championship pedigree. They've been there a lot of times, and I know Patrick has it on his mind because he hasn't made it to the Super Bowl from going on the road. And so for him, that'd be just another thing to put on his legacy that, hey, I went on the road to Buffalo, who was a top seed. I went on the road to Baltimore, who was the number 1 seed, and we went and beat both of those guys in a year where we probably didn't have our most talented team. They've had better offenses in the past, right? They've dropped a lot of passes. They haven't performed. It hasn't been the pretty season that we're accustomed to seeing from Kansas City. Obviously, that's why they're going on the road. And so I think Patrick Mahomes definitely has that chip on his shoulder, and he's going to try to do everything that he can to will his team to a victory. So we definitely can't discredit what he's going to bring to the table. And I'm sure he's going to play well. I'm sure Travis Kelce will play well. But I just think in the very end, I think Baltimore's defense is a little tougher, and I think Lamar is just playing at a great level right now, and he's not going to let the Ravens lose. So I got the Ravens advancing to the Super Bowl against the Detroit Lions.
We love it. We love to hear it here on Lock It In with Cam Rogers. Glover Quin back on the program, sir. Always great to catch up with you. Best of luck this weekend.
All right, man. Thank you.